Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and welcome to the New Card Report. Legacy of Destruction has had its first couple of cards revealed, as well as the cover card for the set, with the speculations being right. Kind of. Gay-ndora is on the pack, and it's getting a retrain of sorts, but not as a dedicated Gay-ndora deck, and instead as part of the deck Yugioh used to beat the Pharaoh at the end of the Duel Monsters anime. That's right, spoilers from that show from like 2004, but get ready for 16 unrelated cards to now become one coherent deck. We start first with Gold Sarcophagus of Light, because that's how Konami has decided to build the entire deck, is to be based around this. To function all around one continuous spell card. Shoutouts to Horus. This card cannot be destroyed by monster effects because presumably Konami knows that this would otherwise be outed by Nightmare Phoenix in every single duel it's in. It can also once per turn in your main phase add any card from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light except for itself, and if your opponent would summon a monster from the graveyard, you can discard a card to target one of those summoned monsters and send it to the grave. And that, folks, is how you make the unrelated become related. Just slap Gold Sarcophagus of Light onto every single card in the text of the effect somewhere, and boom, we've got an archetype. We've got a once per turn ROTA, and it has protection for itself, and it even serves as a bit of bonus to make sure that Ogdoadic players can literally never win under any circumstance. Now that is some good card design. Getting on to the monsters, yes. Gay-ndora, the Dragon of Destruction, offers players ample opportunity to make jokes about gay-ass dragon. And that's perfect. Doesn't even need any effects other than that, but it does have some. To no shock, this is a level 8 Dark Dragon with 0 attack and defense, and this one can be summoned from the hand if you control the new Gold Sarc. Not terrible. It'll also gain 300 attack for each banished monster, and can pay half your life points to destroy as many other cards on the field as possible and then banish them, after which you can summon any level 7 or lower monster from the deck that mentions the new Gold Sarc, and increase its level by the number of destroyed cards by this effect. So that's the real reason that the new Gold Sarc can't be destroyed by monster effect, and also it's just a high-level schmuck kind of deck, isn't it? Because if you know Yugi's cards, just magicians and swordsmen that involve levels, so I guess that's a thing. I do find it funny that this destroys and banishes, just so I can trigger any effects that would activate when destroyed regardless, but that'll just mean yours and the opponent's, so it's like, is that necessary? I don't know, but it's there. Also, in terms of a boss monster, field wipe with infinite uses because you always have enough life points, it's not a bad thing. It's not really something to complain about. Plus, it's a dragon, so I'm legally obligated to like it. Silent Swordsman 0 is a level 4 light spellcaster with 1000 attack and defense that can increase its level by 1 during each standby phase, and for every level above its original will gain 500 attack. It can also once per turn negate the activation of an opponent's card or effect that targets the new Gold Sarc or one of your cards that mentions it, and then increase this card's level by 1. So summoned off the Gay-ndora, it's a big dirty beater of sorts, or has the potential to be, and it's universal targeting protection for your deck. Not a terrible way to retrain a level card, all things considered, seeing as how poorly level monsters have aged. Not much else to say, really. I just don't have anything interesting to say about it beyond its a goofy looking face, but also Imperm insurance, so it is playable. And you know what, we got the Swordsman, so let's just get the Magician as well. This light level 4 spellcaster with 1000 attack and defense is Silent Magician 0, and has very similar effects to the Swordsman. This one will gain a level each time the opponent draws a card or cards, and will gain 500 attack for each level above its original. But this one can negate the activation of any spell card or effect, so long as you've got the new Gold Sarc, and will then gain a level from that. The arbitrary spell negate on the wizard with an oversized hat. I suppose that's... Sure, why not? It starts weak as shit, and it'll be much harder to get big outside of maybe summoning off of Gay-ndora. And let's be real, if the opponent is getting Gay-ndora to resolve, there are bigger worries than a single spell negate in most cases. But hey, it's not a bad card by any stretch. This makes both the Swordsman and the Magician playable through their retrain, and that's enough to get a thumbs up from me. Check that out, I got 2 of them. Tricolor Gadgets is up next, because if they were to make them 3 cards, they'd need to come up with 3 effects. And as you'll find out, they could only think of 2, because it has 2 effects. This level 4 Earth Machine has 1300 attack and 11 defense, and the effect to on normal or special summon, add a copy of the new Gold Sarc or a spell or trap card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. And if it's destroyed, it'll let you set a copy of Stronghold of the Hidden Fortress right from your deck onto your field. That's right, folks. Yugi's least playable trap card's also getting a retrain. Can't wait to talk about that. As is, it searches the Searcher, which means that you get to play 3 of it in this deck. 3 gadgets, but not those gadgets. It's these new ones, the ones with color spelled weirdly, I think. Why does it have Red's attack stat, but then a defense that matches none of them? I don't know. I'm just confused. Konami's clearly throwing numbers at the wall, but they did make it playable, so fuck it, good enough. Mashy Marshmallow is up next, and holy shit, he's wearing the glasses. Now that is card design. This level 3 Light Fairy has 300 attack and 500 defense, and is also indestructible by battle like the original, but only while you control the new Gold Sarc. To make up for that reliance on it, however, it does make it so that other monsters you control cannot be targeted for attacks, so they will have to deal with it. It can also special summon itself from the hand on the opponent's turn, so long as you have the new Gold Sarc, and it also floats on destruction into another copy of Mashy Marshmallow from your hand, deck, grave, or banished pile, and will then burn the opponent for 1000 damage, which means you can just loop them with Gay-ndora for burning's sake, and also it's just a pain in the ass. It's not unbeatable, but it's annoying. Like Marshmallow was when you first started playing, right? Was everyone else bad? Who knows? Either way, this and the Swordsman to protect it from targeting effects can make for a really funny situation, you know? It's like you make Nightmare Unicorn, but you can't get rid of it. Or, you know, you pop it with Cerberus, but it just keeps coming back. So you can't just pop it, you gotta spin it or something. And it's not gonna be hard to out, don't get me wrong. It's just gonna be funny every once in a while when it's more of a pain in the ass than it should be. Silence of Time, Turn Silence, is a card straight from the redundant department of redundancy in regards to its name, but it's also a quick play spell with a fat once per turn on it. This will target a monster you control and increase its level by 3, making either one of your silent fellas into 2500 silent dude/dudette, which is cool. Battle trick, kind of. But if you activate this in response to an opponent's monster effect while you control both the new Gold Sarc and a monster that mentions it, you can negate that monster effect. So it's also a bit of an effect negation as well as a buff for your silent cards. It also has an effect in the graveyard to banish itself during damage calculation when a monster that mentions the new Gold Sarc battles to immediately end the battle phase. I don't know why it was waiting until, you know, damage calc to do that, or why, but whatever it does. So you can figure that one out for yourself. Probably references the anime, haven't seen it, couldn't tell you. Either way, it's a decent little monster negate because it mentions the new Gold Sarc and, you know, right? Like it's searchable, and I don't know why it says you need to control a monster that mentions the new Gold Sarc, because it's clearly only meant to be used with Magician or Swordsman, and those are the only targets that are really going to be used in 99.9% of situations. But what do I know? I suppose you can chain this targeting the new gadgets to prevent Ash. Crazy. Ties of Friendship, meanwhile, is a normal spell card whose art references Takahashi's duel art, and is a pretty damn awesome reference. This card has a hard once per turn and will require you to control both the new Gold Sarc and a monster that mentions it, and will let you summon 2 monsters of level 4 or lower from your hand or deck with different names from each other that mention the new Gold Sarc, which is an insanely strong effect, to the point that they also made it lock you out of the extra deck after using it. Special summon from the deck, and once it resolves, you can get targeting and spell negation, or you can search one of your spells, or you can get out the annoying blob. Pretty fantastic card. It's great to see the effect matching art of that quality, and I don't think much else needs to be said. That's just some damn good shit. Silence Towards the Future, meanwhile, is the last spell revealed, another quick play that's actually ROTA. Yeah, it just adds a monster that mentions the new Gold Sarc from deck to hand, including Gay-ndora, which is notable, and if that was it, it would be great. It would just be great because it's a quick play ROTA on your turn or the opponent's, because you can get Marshmallow on me, I don't know. But it's actually one of those New Age ROTAs regardless, so you know that there's more to it. Because if you use this card in the battle phase and you've got the new Gold Sarc as well as the monster that mentions it, both players will get to draw cards until they have 6 cards in their hand. Holy shit, Mom, it's the Card of Sanctity effect. That's an anime reference on the anime reference card. Holy shit. I didn't see that coming. Just kidding, I kind of did. Not Cards of Sanctity specifically, but the reference. We need to go deeper though. Truthfully, I want 6 anime references on one card. And now in the comments, someone gets to tell me about whatever one that is, because it probably has like all 6 ace monsters on it or some shit. In regards to this card, however, it's fucking phenomenal. I mean, it's a 3-of because it's the Rota, for no other reason. And the draw effect is a hell of a strong one. But maybe kind of a gamble, because if you need to use it in the battle phase, that means both players have had some amount of turn. And both players will presumably not have 6 cards in hand. So you will be giving the opponent free advantage. Granted, maybe you'll get so much advantage that whatever they get won't matter, but giving an opponent 6 cards, and then if they draw for turn because you used it in your battle phase, they got 7 cards to play with, that's a bit of a yikes. That's a Mikey no likeys kind of situation, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you've locked yourself into the extra deck, there's some potential downsides here. Don't get me wrong, if you bust your hand up to 6 and make an unbreakable board, cool, but nothing about this deck thus far has said unbreakable board, and there's only one card left, and we already know what it is because it's the fucking trap card, so I guess let's just get on to that one. Yeah, rounding it up, Stronghold of the Hidden Fortress. This continuous trap is another trap monster, summoning itself as a level 4 earth machine with 0 attack and 2,000 defense and a whopping 2 effects. The first will give it 1,000 attack for each new gold Sarc and monster that mentions it you control, which I guess means it has a potential max attack stat of 7,000 if for some reason you had activated all 3 copies of the new gold Sarc and controlled 4 other monsters. And if your opponent's monster declares an attack and you control a new gold Sarc, you can once per turn just destroy that monster that's attacking. Just blow it up. Boom, you're dead, just like that. I mean, it's a beater. That's its one redeeming. It's a like kind of removal as well that the opponent literally has to walk into, but it's a beater. All in all, this is far better than I expected in regards to dual monster support, because making Yugi's deck actually one coherent deck instead of giving each individual monster its own archetype, like they've been doing for 10 years, is a refreshing change of pace. Plus, it's Yugi support that's not the Dark Magician, because that's all I ever expect from them. Really cool to see Dark Magician isn't in the deck. As in, I can't even fathom that. Kudos to Konami for that. They've got a really solid lineup here, right? You can search the gadget with Gold Sarc to search the Rota to search another thing. So there's searchers searching searchers to search searchers, which offers consistency if nothing else. And it's not like everything here is weak. A spell negation, some targeting negations, nice. Blowing up the entire fucking field because you've got a dragon is pretty damn cool. And there's a real clear strategy to pull off with some reliability, regardless of how good or bad it is in the better, competitive scheme. I don't know that it's going to be very good. It doesn't seem all too exciting, card effect wise, but it is really neat to see a decent change of pace in regards to the Konami Yugi deck situation, because I fully expected literally every individual monster to just inevitably end up with its own archetype. So kudos to Konami for that one. Kudos to me for never having even seen the duel this is referencing. I've tried watching the show twice. Both times I got to the virtual world arc and stopped. Clearly that's my fate to never finish it. And yeah, good job, Konami. I'm a fan of the dragon. And now that I've stumbled my way through whatever the fuck that was, let's get on to whatever the fuck this is, and that is thanking today's sponsor, the LIFD Magnetic Display, the true duelist-approved way to show off your favorite cards, and the best way to support my channel currently. If you want to pick yourself one up, you can get 15% off by using promo code YGOSTRATS, or you can have that promo code apply automatically by clicking the link in the description of this video. Thanks as always to LIFD for the support, and of course thank you for watching. Just covering some of the new cards in this one. How exciting is that? A Yugi deck that I don't immediately hate as my Yugi booming hating self. Now that is a true Christmas miracle. And I'm sorry, but it's November, and I've already seen Christmas trees, so that's clearly Mariah Carey's on the radio, and that means I gotta go to the end of this fucking video. Please subscribe, impress your smoking Italian wife, become a true duelist, and I'll see you next week on The Update.